Beloved, welcome to our session for today, um, which is about embracing abundance, um, which some people call the money mind, or mind over millions. Many people, every time we talk about abundance, they think about money. Of course, abundance is much more than money. But as we know, that energy that is called money, I'll have another session on specifically money, where we shall go into the makeup and the nature of that energy, of that spiritual energy called money. But for now, I want to talk about having more than you need, which is what abundance is. And here we are going to explore how to unleash your mind's innate power to create abundant wealth through spiritual principles and practical strategies. Because as you will notice, or as you already know, your mind is already bigger than all the millions you can think about in this world, because you are part of the divine mind. You just need to become aware of this truth and start driving towards achieving what you want. That is, if you really want it. Of course, when you grow, realize what you want is bigger than even money. Um, and this is to help us really deal with internal conflicts, which are the real barriers that we usually create or face, because many of us don't believe that we create these things that are bottlenecks within our life. We have to deal, if we are to reach this level of benefiting from abundance, we have to, you know, go out, consider that all the contributing factors like outside circumstances that may slow you down, you need to be aware of them and know how to circumvent them. Then know what are the determining factors, the inner conflicts that can actually stop you from achieving. Then the shifting focus, moving from external blame to internal power, how you can, move from thinking the situations and circumstances are the ones determining, and instead of focusing on your internal power to attract. And then, of course, taking that personal responsibility that helps you to have ownership over your own journey. Because every time we think there is anything stopping us and you resist it, uh, you will create more of it. That which you resist persists. We have already said this in the session on flow. And what you embrace becomes real, becomes grace. So you have to think about wealth in not as something difficult, but as something possible and easy and ever available from our Divine Father. And this means that we really understand this divine path to abundance, because it begins from, as we are told in Proverbs 2:21:5, that we need to be guided in our journey, that the thoughts of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty. Brothers and sisters, the thinking that there is any abundance or great wealth that will come quickly is near to a lie. We like miracles, we want, but as they say, is a come, is a go. Any sustainable wealth comes from knowing the truth, which is that we plant things, those things have a time to, to mature, then we can harness them. And if we plant things that last longer, then we shall harness for a much longer time. And this is what diligent short is, that you cultivate purposeful thinking, knowing that I have a duty to plant that which has been put within me and nurture it and let it grow so that it can bring forth the abundance. Every great tree, great fruit, great garden, great cereal, whatever it is that you see bearing fruit, has a lot of untold stories of patient planning, patient nurturing, uh, patient guidance to bring it to this level of abundance that we see and enjoy. And to understand, most importantly, that true abundance is actually about aligned thinking, that everything you seek is already there and is already within you, because the kingdom of the Father is already within you. But you must think about it, like you align yourself, you tune into that which you want as a reflection of your abundance. You tune into it and work knowing that it is there and it must show up. And then finally, it certainly must show up if really, really you want it. But this knowledge works from, you know, like with all things, just like with creation, that it is there, you know it, then you start on the process in this earthly drama, the drama of this earth, the play that we are in. that we seek that which we already know is there. Otherwise, business people would not start shops, would not start manufacturing, would not start all these businesses. They know that they will earn money through it, but they go through a process of taking time to build a business, to put in systems, to build the main product of supply. They build the supply chain, and then finally deliver the product. But they begin it only because they know the truth. Actually, I dare say that business people are the most faithful people in this kingdom of the Father. They are able to see the invisible. They are able to live in the true heritage, that they are able to see opportunities where others see challenges. And then within those opportunities, within those challenges, create out opportunities that both solve proposed issues or problems as well as bring them income. And this is about value creation, which is the universal law. The universal law of abundance is that you must create value, and for that value is where you will be paid. So it means that you think of how to offer your service or a product with purpose, creating value that serves the needs of others. What needs do people have that you can offer them? You can offer and either improve their situation or reduce it if it's already in a situation that is not desirable for them. And we have to understand that you know that whatever it is we are serving, it's of a spiritual essence, is beyond the seen and even the internal, because the spiritual is beyond. The internal is the mind, which is the possession level, the mind and the will. um, but wealth is a spiritual at its core. It begins from the knowledge that things are already available. The mind starts off the journey of knowing how do I access it, and how do I sustain the effort to access it. And if you can know this very important truth, that things are already available, your job is to tune in and persist in that tuning, that you can reach the already available things from the Father. And then the universe will reward you uh, depending on the level of value you have put in, not just the amount of time or resources that you have put in, because it's always quality over quantity. You have to meet a given need for the time, for that particular circumstance of a particular people, because the universe pays you exactly for that according to the level of value you create, not the amount. Many of us like working hard, despite the fact that we have told you in the laws of energy that you must use energy sparingly, because energy is what we are working with, is the real essence of the Father. Consciousness starting to work at the mind level is energy. Thoughts, feelings are all energy. And you have to give of them, in a calculated way, so that they bring forth the best result possible. We shall have a session on energy, but for those who want direct coaching in these matters and to really take over the lead of their world, you can join our coaching service. Um, the, in the comments and even in the description, there are links. But ideally, there is free knowledge like this, even across the web here, that you can access so that you can live this true promise. Now, to really understand this, we'll introduce you to this concept of the 4 levels of value, or levers. Some people call them levers. And once you understand, because you must give value, but what value are you going to give? Now, there are 4 main distinct levers or levels of value that you can take advantage of now to be able to make money, to solve people's challenges and give them solutions. The first level is at implementation, where you use your muscles, your energy over time, where you provide physical labor, and usually this brings limited returns. It's how many of us earn a living. We go plant, we go work, or we carry, we do things by our hands. Of course, it takes time, and it's great labor. It's great labor with the Father, because there have to be people at each of these levels. Now, the choice is for you to see where you engage, or whether you're going to experience all of them and see for yourself which one will bring you much better returns. The other higher level beyond that is the unification, where we talk about managerial skills, where you organize others' efforts. You see, in every organization, managers are paid much more than the other laborers. Someone who is able to organize people who are laboring and guide them when they report, what exactly they will do, how they will do it, and how they report the production, and make sure they meet those targets. The people who do that and bring this labor into unity are usually going to be paid more than the people who are doing the real labor. It is what it is. Go to all organizations. If you see the money the manager of a bank is paid compared to the tellers, compared to the people who go to do loan management. It is because this person has known how to unify all these different associated labor actions and put them into a systematic situation that can lead to the achievement of results that bring forth wealth. Um, the third or higher level than that is communication, where we use words to create value. Where this is where really the higher realm of abundance of money begins. Now, when I was younger, I used to wonder why do musicians attract such big attention? Huh? So someone starts singing with their mouth, dances around, and then they get all this money, all this fame. Then I looked at movie actors, movie makers. People make a 1 hour, 2 hour movie, and you hear millions of dollars, millions of dollars. And until it was made very clear why these people are operating at another harem, while other people are laboring, while other people are managing the laborers, the people who come out to communicate, the people who come out to dominate what is communicated, what is sent out and received in form of messages, they are going to take the highest return because they are the ones who, rule the making of things. Remember, I told you already, if you have watched all the other previous sessions, that you have to know that the earth is always unfolding. So people who are going to control information, huh? We hear information distribution and access. The people who are controlling things that are information are going to rule the people who are just unifying and doing the labor. The people who are going to think about community issues will give direction. The people who use their mouth, remember we talked about the power of the word. You have to know this is the people. It's very unfortunate if you think about it, but it's what it is, that the people who talk about the products and services are paid better than the people who actually make them and manage them. It is how it is, it is how it was ordained. Because word or spiritual expression is always at a higher level of return in the wealth cycle than the other two. And of course, higher than that is imagination. This is the highest level where we use the mind to manifest abundance. For the people who, for example, go in and think about this business and create it, and it will be like this. The people who imagine it draw from, imagine, remember we said the image in. You create an image, then you take it within to the Father, to the divine, and then create out something in the physical that can be seen. So the people who create the thing, who are behind the creation of the things, not the labor to bring them into forth, but who bring forth the ideas, those ones are paid at the highest level. So you have to ask yourself, if you want to be wealthy, at which level are you operating? Are you at the implementation? Are you at unification, managing others? Are you communicating about what is being done and what works and what doesn't work? Are you managing that information and knowledge formation cycle? Or are you at the level of creating, bringing forth things from the unseen into the seen? And it is your choice throughout this. Uh, but ours is to also warn, of course, that while giving labor is good and healthy, and we are all expected to give of our labor in one or two things here and there. But hard work alone often leads to exhaustion, not wealth. Remember, you are going, for example, if you want $1 million and you're going to spend labor that is this big, and another one spends that labor that is this big, the one who spends this small labor is more, because the law of energy is that we must utilize as less energy to produce the highest product and get the best benefit out of it. So taking more energy to achieve anything is not the best way. That's why technologies are always ever being developed to fulfill this law. To come forth, you see all these technologies that have been developed over time, from the typewriter, like for us in communication, to computers, now to different computers, mobile phones, now to AI. They are all making what used to take long to be done quicker, because it is the law that we must spend as less energy in order to fulfill the Father's being. If for him he just said, let there be, and it was, just imagine the energy the Almighty spent if he was to go and start molding the way we do. But of course, we have to start from the lower level and go on growing towards the higher levels. This is because physical resources are inherently limited. You know, if all of us were to have land which we have to till, all of us were to grow the same crops, we would not even have people to buy from each other. But there are also time constraints, energy limitations. People do get sick, or you have to do so many other things. For example, women have to work in the garden, and even some men work in the garden, then prepare food for home, serve it, clean up the house, clean utensils. Like there's so much to do. And then, of course, there are diminishing returns. As you grow in this life, if you're basing on physical labor, your capacity to execute that physical labor reduces because you are no longer able to tap in very well to, hold off the forces of, as you grow, there is something working within you to exhaust the vessel. The vessel gets exhausted and you can no longer tap in to bring out the heaviest energy. And this means that those who really want to be wealthy, we must seek the higher path. The spiritual wealth creation transcends physical limitations. You must create money from that level which is not affected by. Just imagine some people are saying we cannot transport goods to, let's say, Arua, to Gulu, to Nairobi, to where, and someone who, like me, who is here in this session on Zoom and which is also on YouTube, and people are going to see it anytime, anywhere they are. I'm not saying I'm richer than those people or people who are doing this are richer, but me, I have circumvented all physical barriers, all physical limitations in terms of the kind of service that I'm offering. And your mind, the mind, remember we said the all is mind. The all is at the 0 point where there is absolute presence of everything, where everything already exists and expressed, where all sounds exist, all words exist but yet unsaid. But for that mind in order to express, expression is mind. Then the mind comes up, thinks of one particular thing, and then expresses it out. And we are continuously using the mind to bring out things from the source, which source is our Father, our Allah, our Abba, the all of all. And this mind can generate unlimited value for others. All the things we said at the level of imagination, that everything that we use has been imagined by others, has in order to be created. People sit there and tap in and they're able to see things that are not yet as if they are. And then they go ahead to get more and more insights and are able to create these things that we come to use: computers, phones, aeroplanes, hose, all things. These things, you know, I told you I like Miles Monroe. There's a time he said that God is so good that in this game of the world, in this game that the Almighty is playing with Himself through all of us and everything has created, that, for example, He did not create furniture. He hid it in forests, in trees, whether they are planted or the one we call natural, that the human have to come and find that which is hidden. When they tell you that Eve came from Adam, it's what they are telling you, that within one atom, two can subdivide, then one becomes receptive, one becomes the one that injects in with the divine seed, and then the two will be able to produce. Everything is already within. Yours is to bring it forth. So you already contain a divine seed within you, that once you go to the Father, to the unlimited presence, then you will be able to draw out that which can result in some level of wealth. And you have to use this mind. And it's better you use your mind at a level where you're above the constraints of the world, the limitations of the world, where there are no time constraints, where there are no exponential returns. I mean, there's exponential returns compared to limited returns, where there is scalable impact. Um, you are able, like you can serve so many people. Imagine, for example, all things are good, like we need food. Food is being grown. We need people who grow it and supply it. But if you are to grow food for 500 people, for example, I'm telling you about creating big wealth. Huh? And you dig, you supply them. If you need to do 1,000, you will have to do times 2 of that. Now compare that to someone who is teaching like me. If I'm serving 500 people, if I want to serve 1,000, I serve them with this same information without putting in any extra labor on the same platforms that we are using. So we have watched these people. No wonder, if you know, it's why, for example, radios, televisions, newspapers, social media, now all these are more popular with people, with making people meet and exchange goods and services more than, say, our traditional ways of doing, because they are bringing a higher level of operation where, you know, things can operate without much limitation. And for this, given that for me, I am from the communication industry, Of course, I've also been able to draw a few products through imagination. I created the Yaka Digital Network, as I told you. I've created this Ultimate Masters. Before that, we created Ultimate Multimedia Consult, and we've created a number of other smaller products. Um, but ideally, we must appreciate the power of communication in whatever level we are doing. And you can actually operate even at all the 4 different levels. Nobody stops you from doing that. You can tap the benefits at each level. Um, but at the 4th level, we're talking about people who think about content creation, whether you're blogging, writing, and teaching, to share valuable insights. You research and learn from those who are doing, doing and managing, and then you're able to share this information so that it can go on to inform others and grow the creative process that brings forth wealth. But also there are those who do sales. In all organizations, for me where I have worked, we've always been complaining about marketers and salespeople, that they are paid a lot of money. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we're working in organizations to earn money. And whoever is near to bring in money, whoever is going to take a lot of money, the one who goes to the client and makes sure the client pays is going to be more than the one who makes the product. Unfortunately, it is the truth of business. If you go there, so you have really to also uh, learn to connect needs with solutions and create tremendous value for people through sales mastery, um, so that you achieve at a much higher level. And of course, there is those who are doing artistic impression, the people in music, art. I used to wonder why people buy art pieces at all that much money. It's because they're able to tune into imagination and create something, you know. However, you might not understand it. There are people for whom it rings a bell within them, and they're able to buy this music, this art, um, because it's speaking from the invisible and bring to visible something that is of value to whoever is buying, and able to purchase this on at a deeper spiritual level. For those who know, when you see the money people pay to see a musician, why? There is something they are connecting to within. Of course, we shall also the power of sound, and we might get much to this, but we are now talking about the expression from the unseen into the seen. The people who communicate, whether they are singing, whether they are artistic, whether they are good writers, people who have done books, they're always going to take much more money than people who are not in this information cycle. But above all, is to be at this level. Like myself, like many people that are doing what I'm doing, and many of you who will do it, who will learn it, to proclaim power. Your words create your reality and speak wealth into existence. Know that if you can learn to speak, if you can learn to speak, you have to learn to use your mouth to speak. It is the highest, first level of bringing things into being. You have to say, even light, which we say is the firstborn, was brought forth by speaking. So nothing is going to come into this world if you don't speak it into existence, brothers and sisters. And be wary, be concerned, be careful about what it is that you are saying. Because uh, this supreme faculty of imagination that we are saying we work with, by going back to the Father all the time, the source of everything, we have to get an image, then we take that image in and then start the creation process. And this is what we talk about, we call divine planting, that you plant seeds of vision in your spiritual garden. Hmm? You have to see the wealth you want. What does wealth mean to you? See it, and then plant it into your spirit. Go to the Father and say, this is what I want to see. Start seeing it. Feel the way you would feel if it was already there. Think the way you would think if it was already there. Attempt to act the way you would act if it was already there. That situation that you want. And then start the process. It's how the law is. You have to begin with the end. Neville Goddard, I think, called it the law of assumption, or beginning with the end in mind. It is how it is. They tell us even the Father, you know, that creation was already done. We are actually living out like a movie. We are like a movie that is seen after it has already been finished acting. When you are saying they are going to do this, actually it happened long ago. You are just looking at a recording. So even you have learned to create from this divine garden, this spiritual garden, where things are seen before they are, and then they are brought into being. So you have to begin this faithful process of nurturing, where you water with consistent belief and expectation. You already know what you want. You already know that it will take some time, and you start working towards it in knowledge, in a higher knowing. You know that if the Father has promised that if I trust Him, this will come to fruition, it certainly will. and I have seen it, and I want it, and it is good, and it will give glory to the Lord. And then you start working on that project or service, uh, and then watch as your manifestation becomes reality, because you have tapped into the source power, which is uh, ever present. Hmm? God's power is always ever present, but you use imagination, use the faculty of imagination. Shall have a specific session on imagination, that faculty. That now we are able to see with spiritual sight, see clearly what you want before it appears. It is what it is, brothers and sisters. You have to see clearly what it is that you want, see it and experience it with your five senses, and then start working on it, and take that process of nurturing until it matures. And this means that you have to be aware of the divine pattern, what we call the divine creation pattern. There is an order. There is an order of how these things are. So the first one is imagination. It's how God envisioned creation, that let there be this. It will look like this. See it, hear it, feel it, taste it. Then you will know this is how it is. You have to see it before it really manifests. Then the second is communion. Like we said, let us make. hmm? Let us make this. Let there be. You have to communicate. You have to order in this cosmos. There are powers. This whole air you see here is transporting everything to you and to others. All the thoughts, they have done an experiment. They have cut people's brain and tried to look in, and they don't find any thought there. There is nothing, not even those electromagnetic waves that they talk about. They are not there when the brain is at rest. So every time we are tuning into others and into the source. And of course, as you can imagine, in the cosmos, there are a lot of things that are going across, from people, from others. So you tune into that which you want. Learn to tune into that which you want, brothers and sisters. Learn to tune in. This is the level of communication. When you get it this side, you communicate it the other side. And at the third level, from the creation, from the divine creation pattern, is where unification. So people started collaborating in order to work. If you look at the industrial revolution, people formed companies in order to deliver goods and services, to do mass production. Now, this collaborative effort, manufacturing started, people produced things at a much larger scale, and it brought much more better financial returns. And then at the fourth level, they employed people to be able to do this work, to implement, the workman, the one who is running the machine, the one who is rolling the things, who is planting in the garden, who are doing all these things. Um, you know, we are told that human beings were created as creators in the image of God. We are co-creators. We help bring forth that which the Almighty has already created in order to make it seen. But now in our normal world, this divine pattern, God started from imagination to communication to unification to implementation. For us, we start from the other way around: implementation, unification, communication to imagination. And we are called to bring this order upwards, so that whichever level you are at, please don't stop at implementation, just doing the labor. Also start unification. Also tune into the Father and communicate. Why do you go every day to give money to a pastor, to a person like me here, as if you cannot tune in? Why do you want me to heal you? Please, we welcome people who want healing, who want to know these things. You can sign up for our services. We shall be happy to show you how to translate God's divine light to be able to clear everything that is affecting you and to live in God's true promise. But these are things you can also do by yourself if you go to the higher level, of course, as well to imagination. So um, we are saying that let us go into this level of creation where we take advantage of the mind's divine faculties, starting with imagination. Imagine the ability to envision what does not exist as if it is. It is what is written in all your spiritual books, how things have come to be. The houses were first, this brass started small, where in my community, then they went to mud and water, then with iron sheets, iron which was drawn from the soil, then smelted, then there have been processes of people thinking and ever evolving. And this, of course, goes to cognition. You have to be aware of yourself, of yourself. It's where it starts. While we end in imagination is the ultimate. We must start with an awareness of ourselves and our surroundings. What is it that we have? If you don't know that there is iron, God did not write a book and say there is iron here. People are able to tell, because when you go within, you receive the answers. You think, usually we're in a community that, of course, it's good to go to school and to do all these things, but please know that the knowledge of the Father is beyond school, is beyond an institution. You think there are people in this community who waited for anyone to come before they introduced fire? People could tell fire that if you rub stones, if you rub wood, to generate fire. This knowledge is available within. You think people didn't plant crops? People didn't cook? People didn't eat? Uh, Sex for procreation. Who taught? Is there any community that needed to be taught? So we have to understand that even education from its earlier foundation. I think I'll do a session on education also one time. Is educare, if you look at its Latin roots, is to bring that which is within. But now we go to be taught other things, and then we kill off all whatever is within people, and they're never able to express anything from the divine, and they only follow the few things that are taught. Now AI has come to rub it off, and it's going to kill so many people's egos in just minutes. And it's unfortunate, but it's what it is. So if you believe you are what you studied, if they ask you who are you, and the first you say is, I'm a doctor, I'm a journalist, I'm a content creator, I'm this, one day you're going to realize that there are things that are doing that better than you. But it means when you go to source, when you know who you are and what is available to you, then you can live larger. You know that you're not only that, you are. Once you are everything. And you can always tap in and bring out what it is you want at particular times. So be aware of yourself and your surroundings. Um, then you relate things to gain wisdom. What is it that is in your community that can benefit people in another community? You have to correlate, because you cannot sell to someone something which they have in abundance. You have to be able to sell to them what they don't have. And if you realize the Almighty has organized these things in such a way that each of us comes with a given seed. Even our own areas come with different minerals and resources that can be useful to serve other areas. Everything is not the same. So you have to begin that correlation process of looking and saying, oh, so me, I have this. If I can give it, those people can give me this. That's why trade in the beginning started with labor, with barter, exchange of products and services. And then we say engage in deep understanding beyond surface knowledge, comprehension. So having realized these correlations, you have to study them deeper. It's why actually this is where education arose, to be able to study these patterns very well and understand them, and then create people who can go and take advantage of them. And of course, once you learn, it's why in education they test memory. You have to store and retrieve this valuable information, being able to know for example, the production process. If you're going to produce this computer, what does it take? Who needs to work where? And what is that process? And how do we make sure that process can repeat even when one person is not in? It's why education becomes important, to come and mechanize this process instead of people who are just tapping in. They have tapped in, but how do you share this information and make sure other people can know it, and then use that information to continue to produce? And within that, to be able to optimize, you go towards prioritization, focusing on what matters most. All industries, all wealth creation has been that process where you go towards higher levels of. That's why you maximize profits and minimize cost. Maximize profit, minimize cost. Maximize output, minimize energy. Maximize output, minimize energy. So you prioritize those things that are no longer as useful. You leave them out and do only those that will help you to produce as much as possible in the quickest time possible. That's what effectiveness and efficiency is about. And then, of course, you have to anticipate, which is about to getting that foresight, energizing foresight of future possibilities. You have to be able to study your communities and know what they will want today, what they will want in 3 years, in 5 years, in 10 years. And those who are able to produce products that are demanded in 5 years, they are certainly going to be much more positioned to earn money than those who are always producing things that are needed now. At that very moment, because the now is ever evolving, but you must be able to see what people will consume in the next now, and then start producing for that, since production also takes time for things to materialize. You don't want to produce a product or service that people no longer need. And that all depends on ever tapping into this ability to envision what does not exist as if it already is, which is the faculty of imagination. So this is what they are teaching you, that we must have unlimited beliefs. It's what the one you call Jesus came to tell you, that he has come so that you can live life and live it abundantly. He's not like the thief who came to steal. He came so that you can live, be unlimited. Be unlimited, brothers and sisters. That this is the $1,000,000 truth. That money, what you call money, can be earned or made. I think people want the word made. Uh, by everybody. Some people make money in a day. Very recently, there's this man called Alex Homozi. He organized the book sale and he made more than 1 million a day. But there are many other people in history who have made a lot of money in a day. If you look at what, for example, telecom companies are earning a day from selling us data, airtime, money, mobile money transfer, sending figures on the air. Oh my God. Oh my God. People are earning money in this world. Can you also tap in? You could be that agent who is going to tap into and get that information that will help as many people solve one or two, three needs, and then you are able to earn a lot of money. So the only barrier is always your belief that it isn't possible. Whatever it is that you envision and consistently work on it, it certainly can come true and will come true. But choose your direction very carefully. Uh, you know, we said you have to agree that you are going in that direction. Because while your capacity, remember we said potential, your potential is measurable, is always there. You have to pick it and then become it. But you see, you have the power that is of God can only work for you based on your choices. You have to choose consciously. This is the world of goodwill. The Father gives us this, in this game of the world, gives us this good free will, that you choose that I will follow this and I want it. And many times, once you choose that, it means, of course, you are also somehow giving up. Everything has a give and take. You're giving up on others. For example, if you're going to work too much in a company and follow it, then probably you're not going to be very present at home with your children. It's how it is. Every time you achieve in one area, most likely you're going to impact another. That's why those who have grown, like some of us, you choose balance instead. That everything in this world we are here to achieve balance. Once you are too tall in the other, too short in this, the people who are going to find stability are those who are at balance. But if yours is really what you want to experience is what you get. If you want to get wealth, please focus on your good because it is that choice that you have made. Choose that which you want and work for it and focus on it, because against it uh, is where you will get all the returns. And of course, we said use your word, use your mind to communicate positive outcomes. Always affirm that which is good with your words. Don't talk about challenges. Don't talk about situations that are not helpful to you. Focus only on what you want. Let the world hear that you know you are one who knows what you're talking about. One of the biggest secrets that the Almighty told me, not really that it's big, but one time I asked, how do we know that you are always present? Because me, I talk to you, other people, seems they don't know that you can even talk to you. I told him, but every day I talk to everybody. I said, how? But he said that, but every day I greet. Through each of you, I greet everybody to ask how you are. And that first affirmation, especially in the morning, is where is the signature that person is taking into the day, how you say you are. Hmm? So every day people greet you not because they love you, not because it's the Almighty playing a game, asking how you are. And that's why every morning you must thank God for another great day that the Lord has made, that you're going to be glad and rejoice in it. Declare, even if you're feeling pain, say how well you are, say how good you are, how good things are going to be. Declare positive outcomes with your words, because the words shape your reality more than any other external factor. And you have to feel it, start feeling it before it is, because words are the expression of our thoughts, but thoughts are, it's like there is electro, then magnetic. The magnetic pulls. What pulls other things you want are the feelings. Let the feelings come in expressing that wellness, even when you're not feeling good, because you are drawing that good feeling once you bring it. And in our local speech, actually today I was telling someone that saying I'm not feeling well, I'm not, in our local language, feeling is actually hearing. Stop hearing those unwell messages. Speak only that which the world is looking to ask you, what are you saying? What are you saying? And every day, the Almighty has a chance through others to ask you, how are you? Every time they meet you, they ask, how are you? How are you? So that you can be able to proclaim that which it is that you want. So this is the essence of understanding true wealth, that there is endless potential. Um, Wealth is your capacity to create from that infinite value that is the Father. Look in every community, from your village to your town, to your biggest community, to your country, to the continent. There are people who are living in different types of abundance. And they also were born like you, without anything. Of course, abundance is for the Father. They will also still go without anything. Nobody owns anything. We just get from the Father to be able to use in this world and then leave it there for other people also to use. And remember, this while there is this capacity is ever available and endless, but you must think of tapping from it to benefit others. It is beyond you. It is you plus others. True value serves others, not just yourself. And this is the secret. Many of us are going even in our prayers, asking things for ourselves. You cannot benefit much if you always think about yourself. You have to be, any good in you must be able to make you more fruitful for others, make you produce that which is for your good and the good of others. And this is what they call multiplied returns. What you give returns manifold, multiplied when aligned with the right purpose. So the right purpose is that which will produce more and more of the same good for others. So remember that wealth is not money, but the ability to produce something of value to someone other than yourself. So long as you give that which is of value, certainly you should be able to get these kinds of benefits. And that's where many of us have been struggling, including myself. When I see what bars do, lodges, all these brothels, I say, my God, what is this? Huh? So me, I put up, let's say, digital learning platform. People are not willing to pay for courses, but in a bar, in what, money is exchanging like, uh, the divine has his ways and secrets. But ideally, he's still showing up. If many people are still at the base, if many people still want a hole to be able to dig their food, you are not going to do much with a tractor. You have to know these things, uh, let alone, of course, food made in a lab. So at different levels, we have to understand if we are to make money from these kinds of people, we have to earn money from them, we have to serve them at their level. But this is, as we conclude really, is to understand this is about a divine mandate for abundance, that we have it. If you look in Genesis, I think it's 126 to 28, thereabout, when, we are told when God made man, he gave him some commands. The first commandment is to be fruitful, which is to produce valuable works that benefit others. You have to be fruitful. We said fruitfulness is what brings us here. There is a divine seed that has been put within you that other people must partake of. Otherwise, you are not useful. If you come here to benefit yourself, you are lost. Eh? See mangoes, see oranges, they all grow mature so that we can go and partake of them. And they are doing that every season. We are here to be helpful to others, to bear fruit that others can use. And God has put different seeds in each of us to be able to bear fruit. What fruit are you bearing? Then that fruit, that seed must multiply in order to bear as much and much fruit. So he said, be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, and then you can have dominion. Because we're here to bring heaven on earth, to dominate this physical world, this earth. It's the final responsibility that we've been given. But to do that, we must know we have to be fruitful, we have to do, multiply, then we start doing. Remember, we said be, do, then have. We have to be fruitful, because you have to know that I have a divine seed. I am a divine seed, and I have to be fruitful. And then you start the process of seeing how you multiply that which you feel and see within yourself. And then because we are spending energy to multiply, remember at the mind level, you have to, even thoughts take a lot of energy. Even physical labor takes a lot of energy. So in the multiplication process, you lose energy. You must replenish that energy. Energy lost must be regained. It is the law. That's why actually you even need to be paid for what you do. Which reminds me that really, for those of you who want to coaching services, for those of you who want to help donate so that we can continue this service and to continue praying and tuning the cosmic powers for the good of all, that you can support us in the description, but also you can bring your works and your desires and work together to help you achieve them, so that we also can get tokens from you to be able to continue this great work. So energy that is lost must be regained. It is the law. You have to replenish. If you don't replenish, the vessel from which you are getting energy will be exhausted and then will no longer be able to be fruitful. And then within that process of replenishing, after you replenish, you have to know that whenever you are planting, whatever you are doing, there are going to be challenges and you must overcome them. You have to subdue. It is the law, brothers and sisters. So those of you thinking that because you are connected to the Father, you're just going to order and things be, it is not going to happen like that. If it happens once, it will be just for your unfolding, for your eyes to see. But in the larger scheme of things, look at families, individuals, families, bigger families, communities, tribes, countries, continents. There isn't anybody who is seated that everything is okay. There are always challenges, one challenge over the other, and limitation over the other. It is the divine order that once you plant seeds in the ground, for example, that weeds are going to come. It is the order. And because remember, we said this is a game. This is a play of the great spirit hiding in us. So they will have to bring those you call Satan, the adversary. Once you plant seeds, the other weeds that do not need any nurturing, they will come up. They will come up and even be stronger. You weed until you subdue them. Everything you have to subdue. All challenges will come, but when you persist and you continue proclaiming the word, then they will uh, be surmounted, and then you will be able to move forward. So plants have to reach a level beyond which they cannot. It's how we win. We have to subdue. When they reach a given level where the weeds and the shrubs can no longer affect it, then they can grow towards their promise. And then you can have dominion at that level. You take responsible authority over your presence, because all the things that come to challenge you, you have overcome them. And these 5 divine commandments form our spiritual blueprint for abundance. If you can master them very well, then you're going to live at a higher level and start the process from wherever you are, depending on that which you want, so that you are always, ever and ever on this progressive production, where each day you're moving, uh, knowing that today is better than yesterday, next month is better than this month, because I am moving. You have to be progressively productive, constantly growing your value creation. And this is what they call prosperity. You are prospering. And we are called to prosper. That the power of the Father, the God wishes you above all that you may have health and prosperity. Two things. And remember, health is the greatest wealth. We shall have, of course, sessions on each of these probably separately. But I hope today I have managed to give into your insight another understanding the higher purpose of our being, which is to tap into God's abundance and bring it into being, where we align with the eternal values that transcend our current presence, that we serve others. But you have to know, in this service, what we are bringing forth is actually the unseen. All great wealth transcends material gain. Things that are material are just a representation of that which is behind them, the invisible. So in this understanding of even people's value, there is something within someone you are fulfilling. So we must know that they are past perceived values, uh, what people valued before, which reveals patterns and preferences that you can tap in, but they should also guide you into the kind of value they will have in future, again, from analyzing what they are valuing now. Present perceived values, what they cherish now, shows immediate opportunities to serve, but also now future perceived versions, who they aspire to become, reveals the deepest motivations. Know that to create value, you must understand others' perspectives deeply. Know where people are at. For us now, we are coming here with this word. I know many people in the Catholic Church where I go cannot be comfortable with the kind of teaching I'm doing, but I know that the time has come. I've been able to be divinely guided by the Father, that now is the time to climb to higher levels of understanding. We must know our oneness with the Father, our oneness with everybody and everything, which is the divine truth. And please go forth and start communicating this message. Just like others, add your voice, add your clarity that you have seen. but we can live in this true one-ment, this one-ment, atonement with the Father. And this is about building bridges to people's destinies. We are all destined. We all have where we are going, and that has been pre-decided. But we must make this journey an enjoyable journey. Let's not just go to the destination without minding about the journey. This life here that we are in the earth, the love in full expression, we are here to express. This journey is the real experience that we crave when we are in the spirit world, and we come back here as many times to come and master it. And when we master our higher level of operation, then we shall be able to see clearly where others want to go, build reliable path with integrity, supporting them to get where they want to go, and support this journey every step of the way through our products and services by offering a bridge to their destination, which is what we are doing to make sure that uh, we can deliver on our promise both to the Father but also to the people in the products and services that we are offering. So I am here today to tell you that I'm here to offer myself as a bridge to that which you want to achieve. I have been privileged by the grace of the Father to know, to be able to support others. And usually when you choose, like they asked Solomon, what do you want? When you choose to support others, then you support the individual pursuits. Your job becomes to support others. And I am here to support those who want to be supported in whatever that they are doing, to be able to achieve massive success, so that through them I can build success in so many of you and become success and tell of the goodness of the Lord and sing those songs of greatness. So this is the whole vision of wealth connection. So we're saying, let's understand that wealth comes from what you see when you go within, when you imagine, when you get an images inside to the Father, because the Father is what is within the kingdom of God. So if you have small visions, you will have small results. If you are seeing only hundreds or limitations, they will limit the abundance flow in you. So the vision you have will be similar to what you see is what you get. You have medium vision. Envisioning thousands creates moderate prosperity. Seeing millions attracts corresponding abundance. And unlimited vision equals unlimited prosperity. People have started platforms, Facebook, X, which was Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram, Reddit, like Pinterest, now see AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, all these products that are being used across the world, and humans are the ones that have come up with them. What are you drawing from the Father? Nothing is coming outside of the Father. This is not about religion. Otherwise, how can God show people who don't go to church these things? What is He bringing forth from you, other than asking people to bring you the little they have? Oh, did I say that? I have said it, please. But the truth is the truth. That we should be teaching people to go within and draw out the unseen, bring out newer things than, making life harder of drawing from the little that is already visible, and then also tapping from it. We, as the people who want to call ourselves spiritual leaders, we should be able to help people go within. As in Jesus admonished the priests of the times and the scribes. If you read in Luke 11:52, he said, you have denied people the chance to go within. Even you yourself, you don't go in and you're hindering others from going within. So let us all support each other. Wealth is already pre-existing within, but we have to go into that process of bringing it out and learn the persistent action and overcome, subdue, and then we can have dominion. And the best way to approach is at the highest level of imagination, where we are unlimited, remove all mental limits and unleash infinite potential. These people are doing products of the world. If you look at America and what has made it great, almost everything they think is done in America. America is the biggest in everything. But they're just saying it's actually not true. Me, I have studied there. I've studied with them in class, and I can tell you, their greatness is in the word, in saying, in audacity. Actually, I remember one guy brought it very well, that the biggest asset of Americans is the audacity. In everything, you think the American is the one who has the best, because they know, they have tuned into that divine truth that if you come from an abundant father, you are abundant, even if abundance has not shown. And then finally, as the world is, this has got to come to be true. So what will you finally get? What you finally get will be determined by your vision, which is of course within the invisible. You have to tune within the invisible. So we think in terms of aligning, of achieving this abundance, you have to align your mind and your mouth. We said what kills a man is what comes out of the mouth. And they said we shall account for every word. Please be mindful of the words you speak. So first, think it, cultivate clear mental images of abundance. Secondly, declare prosperity with conviction and faith. Say you have money, even if it's not there, even if you have spent 10 days without any coin, know that you are abundant and declare it. It just hasn't shown up. The fact that you had cut your hair to no hair does not mean hair is not there. Hair is always there, it will always grow. So know the truth, speak with confidence. And the third level is to believe it, to maintain an unwavering faith in the manifestation. You know that even if your hair delayed a day, it is there, it is coming. You know it will grow. Where does it come from? What do you do to make it? Yours is to know that it is there. It's what we are saying. Let's just tune in. Once you're tuned in, it will be. And at the fourth level, we are saying accept abundance as your divine birthright. Know that just like others have abundance or are living in abundance, you also deserve it and welcome it and accept it and let it be part of you. But if you say, for us, we are meant for this, many of us even have this speak that for us, the poor, for us, the people of down, for Muntu it is you doing it to yourself, brothers and sisters. Nobody, if anyone calls you that, you should refuse it. You should say, me, I'm of up, not down. I'm healthy, not sick. Otherwise, you're going to depend on people who are declaring diseases. Oh, I've said that also. Huh? You are in this world of yours where people come and they tell you that a disease has broken out. Huh? And then you start worrying how the disease is going to get you. Hey, remember how many people are going to make money? All these diseases bring money. These are businesses for people. I have said it. I have said it. I hope one day you'll understand it. Nothing can break out if it wasn't locked. Huh? It means it is stored somewhere, then it breaks out and they announce it, and only one person or group has a chance to announce it. And many businesses have been built around that. Learn to be those who say, no, me, I'm healthy, I'm abundant, I am okay. Whatever the challenges, even if that should come on you, because it's among the energies moving around, tell it that I'm not part of you, I don't have anything to do with you, get off from me, I am healthy. Always declare that which you want and accept the abundance, the great health as your divine right. Because if you're not healthy, the all abundance can actually get lost. First, it takes your labor, your time to act, to think and act and to be, but also it takes even the little resources that you have got. So when you get your mind and mouth right, certainly wealth will flow. And this is your first assignment, really, to get your mind and mouth in line, to align that what you think is what you proclaim with your word. Don't mind about physical evidence. Mind what is in the unseen so that you can get to see it in the seen. And this is it, brothers and sisters. So your divine abundance journey uh, is about an expanded vision. See beyond current limitations. See that which you want even when you're in struggle, even when you're in challenges. Then start creating value. Serve others with your unique gifts, whatever it is that you can do. Even a training like this, the one I'm doing, you can't do. If you can afford the data, share something. How many people are making a great living online? While you are just watching them and talking about what they have talked, or you are scrolling and for them they are making money. Please don't, if you see others work where you are not, you will complain and complain until complaints run out. Then receive the prosperity you have envisioned through the God's ever-present abundant flow. Water is always flowing, but we have to know where to tap it from. And of course, when it finally comes in from your persistent actions and efforts, uh, have grateful stewardship. Remember, you are a steward. You are not the owner. Nobody owns anything in this world. Nobody comes with anything in this world. Nobody gets out with anything. You are just a steward for that time. In our church, they say everything is given by God. Every interview on hunger. Many times we forget. We are all stewards, just utilizing. So manage blessings with thankfulness. Whatever you get, be thankful. Even the fingers you have, even these ideas, even the ability to speak is not mine. Is for the Father. The ability to be able to tune in all these concepts as you see me here is not mine. It is the Father who has opened that blessing to me. And I thank the Father always for that. That He has put in me a light that is able to see in some corners that and bring out all this truth to you so that you can also reconnect. You can remember. He helped me actually. I did the book, which I encourage all of you to read, please. The book on the Grand Awakening. That we are at that precipice of awakening to our true self, to remember our divine power and true connection to the Father. A higher being appeared to me, of course, through my father who had died in a few weeks, and I was able to download a lot of information, which you can read in that book if you go to my books within the description here. So please, let's do that alignment with the spiritual source always, where everything exists and everything is in abundance, uh, through that divine connection, which is at the center of our trainings, our sessions here, that we can be able to have a journey of abundance, uh, which is spiritual at its core. And we have to trust the process. Let's be patient as things unfold. Nobody impregnates or gets pregnant or impregnates and expects a baby immediately. Those are the ones who are out of alignment. Even if you have a lot of money, whether you're the king, whether you're the what, there is a process to becoming. I've already done a session on becoming. Let's be patient. Remember that with faith and aligned action, all things will be possible. Keep trusting the process, and then you will see the goodness of the Lord through the abundance that you will enjoy. So I wish you the very best of dwelling in God's ever present abundance, expectation of more and more, and you get to be a living testimony of it. Thank you and be blessed.